Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Montreal Canadiens postgame show here on Langer at the Mic Live. And you know what's coming. You better turn your sound down, but not too far down because I can't be too loud tonight. But woohoo! This game, this series, the Stanley Cup final is going to Game 5. I can't yell. I can't be too loud because, again, my roommate's sleeping. I'll pull it up a little bit. But, man, Anderson. Josh Anderson. The Habs took a 4-minute double minor because Shea Weber off the faceoff, Captain Shea Weber, who was playing a phenomenal game, accidentally high-sticked Andre Palat off the faceoff. It happens. Palat was bleeding. Weber had to pay the price, taking a double minor 4-minute penalty. And Weber, who was playing probably one of his best games of the playoffs so far, also. He was a man mountain tonight. Weber was legitimately a man mountain tonight. He did not want this series to end. I got 4 guys right here, 3 guys in particular, that did not want this series to end tonight. Josh Anderson, Shea Weber, Carey Price. They did not want this series to end tonight. Obviously, everyone else, but those 3 above everyone else. So Shea Weber played 23 minutes only, but 5 block shots and 4 hits, and +1, and of course the 4 penalty minutes. So great game, but accidentally high sticks Andre Palat off the faceoff and has to sit for 4 minutes in the penalty box against the number 1 power play. That's at around well over 30% in these playoffs. But guess what? The Habs penalty kill tonight, at least maybe not for the series, but at least tonight, was that much better. Because the Habs, they killed off not 1, not 2, well, it was implied 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 Lightning power plays tonight. To be fair, the Lightning did hit 3 posts, but they were just clogging up passing lanes to the middle, sticks on pucks, sticks in lanes. They were just make pressure in all 3 zones. Lehkonen, Deneau, Armia, Byron, everyone relentless on the penalty kill. And they killed off 5 penalties tonight. 5. And then, of course, not to mention the fact that Romanov, before the game, Romanov and Jake Evans drew into the lineup for, and Brett Kulak, of course, drew into the lineup for Kotkaniemi and Merrill and Eric Gustafsson. And Romanov, Kulak in, great, but Kotkaniemi out, not so great. But Jake Evans, Byron, and Lehkonen, a whole revamped lineup tonight. Evans, Byron, and Lehkonen were awesome tonight. And so was Nick Suzuki on his new line with Josh Anderson and Cole Caulfield. Caulfield was also good tonight. He was also good. He didn't get nearly as much offense or as many shots on net, I don't think. It didn't look like it, but he was making plays. Yeah, 1 shot on net for Cole Caulfield tonight, but 2 crucial assists. Finally, going all the way back to the first period, Habs are getting outshot. I think it's 7 or 8-0 with 8 minutes into the period. In 8 minutes into the first period, Habs are getting outshot 7-8 or 8-0. Finally, Tyler Toffoli gets the Habs first shot on net. But you know what? That's also a huge thank you and a huge reason of Carey Price bailing them out with saves on Kucherov, 3 saves in a row on Blake Coleman, save on Palat off a deflection from Kucherov, off a turnover where Price was playing the puck. Price made a huge save on Cirelli as well. But then Josh Anderson, because Brett Kulak, who was inserted into the lineup, Brett Kulak didn't hold the play well at the blue line, but he has the speed to beat Anthony Cirelli to the puck, restarts the attack to Suzuki, to Caulfield. They play catch, tic-tac at the blue line, tic-tac-toe at the blue line. And then Josh Anderson, backdoor Suzuki with a beautiful backhand pass from below the goal line right to Josh Anderson, who buries it, gives the Habs the first lead of this series. All is going great. Then the Habs actually have a great start to the second period. Great start to the second period. They have a power play where, again, new power play lines. First unit doesn't really do much, but then the second unit gets a couple of really good chances, and Vasilevsky did have to make some really good saves. But then the Habs just killed the penalty by Corey Perry, and they killed just like I said, 5 penalties. What was it? It was the Armia tripping penalty on Matthew Joseph. But then here's something that happened that we have seen all regular season and at times in these playoffs: turnovers in their own zone. And in this case, Josh Anderson, who I praised for finishing the first goal, who I have praised for scoring the overtime winner, second overtime winner, second multi-goal game of these playoffs. But it wasn't all nice. I mean, he also had a huge shot on Victor Hedman, don't get me wrong. But the Barclay Goodrow goal was because Josh Anderson was too high in the zone, trying to fly the zone, and he could not be low enough to support Jeff Petrie. So Jeff Petrie turned it over. Blake Coleman shot on net. Price gives up a rebound. Ryan McDonough, beautiful backhand pass to a wide open Barclay Goodrow, ties the game at 1-1. Because again, a clear opportunity. Petrie also, that's also on Petrie. Don't get me wrong. He could have iced the puck, but then that would have been a face-off in their own zone. But just breakouts out of their own zone like that have been a nightmare all season long. And it was a nightmare in game 2 in that instance with Josh Anderson not being low enough to support Jeff Petrie. And that's Dominic Ducharme's MO. That's his game plan. That's his system. That's his structure. Be low to support the puck carriers, especially in your own zone. But Josh Anderson was way too high. Now it's 1-1 all of a sudden going into the second. But then, guess what? Price, huge save, backdoor on Kucherov. That was a perfect goalie save. As a goalie coach, or a former goalie coach, I could say, because I don't have the time to coach as much as I used to, unfortunately, but I still miss it and I love it. But anyway, one of the biggest things that we tell young goaltenders, always, whenever you can, take a look at who's in front of the net. Quick little glance. That's all it takes. Just quick little glance. Carey Price knew that Kucherov was there. Braden Point, as they've been doing all playoffs, perfect pass to Kucherov, but Price, reading it perfectly, made a hugely difficult save look easy, and he kept it a 1-1 game. And then, of course, Romanov coming right off the bench. Romanov was just inserted into the lineup with Brett Kulak, who, by the way, Romanov played, 12 minutes, and Kulak played 13 minutes compared to the under 10-minute games that we see often from Merrill and Gustafsson. But yeah, so because of 6 penalties on one shift, the entire Yanni Gord line getting called, and the entire, I think it was Sherratt, Petrie, and Lehkonen or someone all called at the same time, 6 coinciding minors. And also, don't forget a huge block by Philip Deneau, just completely selling out to block a huge shot on Jan Ruda, and then a huge stick check to get the puck out of the zone at that point on a 4-on-4 situation. I'll get your comments in a bit, don't worry. But then it was Romanov coming right off the bench, does the right thing, gets it on his stick, puts it to the net with traffic in front of Vasilevsky. I think it was Lehkonen in front of Vasilevsky. Habs have a 2-1 lead. Romanov becomes the youngest Canadiens defenseman to ever score a goal in the Stanley Cup final. Youngest defenseman of all time, Alexander Romanov, to score a goal for the Montreal Canadiens in a Stanley Cup final series. And then Price made a huge save on Tyler Johnson. Suzuki almost had a great chance, made a huge play, like a huge move. I forget who the Tampa defenseman was. Great play. But Vasilevsky had to make a big save. But then there was the Patrick Maroon 2-on-1 with Matthew Joseph, because Kulak a little too aggressive in the neutral zone, fell down. Maroon beat Kulak back. I guess he had a step. Maroon, not the best, not the fleetest of foot, not the fastest of foot. Beats Kulak back into the Habs zone. 2-on-1, tie game seconds later. And this is obviously because Kulak and Romanov had to play more minutes with Sherratt and Petrie in the penalty box. But should their minutes have been sheltered? Leave that in the comment section as well. I'll get to them in a little bit. Sheltered by, should Kulak have played with Weber? and then Edmondson with Romanov. Should that have been the situation, the strategy, or did Dominic Ducharme do okay or do right? Or I guess Luke Richardson, you could say, do right by putting Kulak and Romanov out both in their first Stanley Cup final game ever together, which led to the Maroon goal. And then the Weber high stick on Andre Palat, but then also Price with a huge save on Andre Palat in overtime leads to a face-off, leads to a whistle. But then Vasilevsky had to make a great save here with Suzuki Deneau, first of all, profiting or taking advantage of a rare Victor Hedman mishandled play at the blue line, 2-on-1. Great pass to Suzuki, but Suzuki just didn't quite have the angle, and he had to keep his feet moving because there was a Tampa back checker right behind him. And then Price with two huge saves on Steven Stamkos down low, and then on Braden Point in front. And again, Price making it look easy. Habs kill it off, and then Josh Anderson, great play at the Habs blue line, more than makes up for his misplay in the Habs defensive zone in the second period. Does what he always does, takes it to the net, which creates things. Even if it doesn't always lead to goals, it still creates a chance at a goal. And in this case, he beat Jan Ruda to the net. Cole Caulfield was there as well to keep the play alive for a split second. And Josh Anderson, even though he fell into the corner, gets right back up, gets to the net, beats Jan Ruda there, sends the series to Tampa Bay for Game 5. This team won't quit. This team won't quit. They're down 3-0. They're down 3-1 to the Toronto Maple Leafs in Toronto. They could have just, rolled over, let the Leafs beat them, focus on the offseason. Down 3-0 to Tampa. Going into Game 4, they could have rolled over, just let Tampa win the Stanley Cup at the Bell Center. But nope. They fight. They never, ever, ever give up. And they won't give up until the very end. And that's why no matter what no matter what team you cheer for, you have to appreciate watching these Montreal Canadiens. And I hope that this core of mix of young players and prime players in their prime and some veterans are going to be this effective together for a good few years going forward. Anyway, let's get to your comments now. Noah Siegel-London buying, again, a good friend from high school, Noah Siegel-London, buying my Josh Anderson hoodie was the best purchase I've made in a long time. And if you wore it tonight, you better wear it for Game 5. And if there's a Game 6, you better wear it for Game 6. And if there's a Game 7, you better darn wear it for Game 7. And when Josh Anderson shows up, he really, really shows up. He didn't have, honestly, in terms of his physical play tonight, wasn't as noticeable. Only had one hit on the night, but he made it count because he just absolutely bowled over Victor Hedman behind the net. Had him lined up, bowled him right over. I saw it coming from a mile away. Victor Hedman only saw it the last second. Friggin' just trucked him. Sheldon Weisberg, first in a long time, I was nervous for overtime. Honestly, I've been nervous, to some extent, as you could tell in the thumbnail of how, I guess, red and schwitzing I was. But honestly, I'm just enjoying the ride, man. I'm just trying to enjoy the ride. And if the Habs had lost this game in overtime, well, I would have still been very proud of them, still been very thankful for what we got to witness, and also for having been to the Bell Center for Game 3. But then again, that's not the way these Montreal Canadiens players are thinking. They're in it to win it. Even if they're down 3-0, they don't care. They're not going to give up. And now Game 5 in Tampa, if you can steal one in Tampa, who knows? But one game at a time. Time travel in Hendricks. That was huge, buddy. Anderson, man, way to stay on the play. Weber was a beast. And yeah, like I said, Weber was a monster tonight. So was Sherratt also. Sherratt was really good tonight as well. He deserves a lot of love. 25 minutes, 9 hits by Ben Sherratt, 3 blocked shots. Another great game by Ben Sherratt as well. Who else had a lot of block shots? Yeah, just mostly. Let's see. Petrie had 3. Edmondson had 3. Actually, Petrie didn't block any, but Edmondson had 3. And Sherratt had 3, like I mentioned. And who else? Lehkonen had 2. Deneau had a really big block shot, like I mentioned, on Jan Ruda. So yeah, they're just not gonna give up ever, this team, until the final buzzer. Where am I? Noah Siegel-London. OT has always feels like, or he's adding at Sheldon, feels like it's always taking years off my life. In some cases, yes. Like I would honestly say, like, I'm full disclosure here, I was more nervous in the overtimes against the Leafs than I was in this overtime. I just was, because being able to beat the Leafs, to me, honestly, that was my Stanley Cup, personally. Personally, because I live in Toronto, because I have a bunch of friends who are Leaf fans and some Leaf fans that are tuning in here. Beating the Leafs was my Stanley Cup, and everything else after that, just enjoying the ride and loving all the awesome moments. And regardless, I'm going to be so proud of how this team does. Like, just even if they lose game 5, I'll be so proud of them. Randy, alive very much indeed. Sheldon Weisberg, unfortunately, Price looked like his old self. Fortunately, Price looked like his old self, like I said, with 32 saves on 34 shots. First game of the series where Price outplays Vasilevsky, and it mattered. He was a real difference maker tonight. You can say that. Did Price steal this game tonight? You could say that. You can make an argument that he did, but he was the better goaltender on the ice for objectively for the first time in the series. I would argue that Price was better than Vasilevsky in game 3 because of how bad the goals were that Vasilevsky gave up. But in this one, Price was clear cut the better goaltender. Noah Siegel and Saul should have been sitting instead of KK, but honestly, to me, for this season, my brain, or just my, I guess, frustrations have sailed, or the ship has sailed on my frustrations over lineups at this point in the playoff run. Like, okay, so even if Romanov comes out of the lineup for Merrill or Gustafson, and Kulak has to sit, and if Kotkaniemi stays out of the lineup again, whatever. It is what it is. So be it. Like, I've spent enough energy during the regular season and early on in these playoffs being mad about it. So I'm done being mad about it, and it is what it is. And it won them again, and it extended the series tonight, and it worked. So probably going to see the same lineup in game 5. So you might even see Alex Killorn back. Look out for that as well on the Tampa side. Stalsha, even though Kulak pinched in for that second Tampa goal, Kulak contributed to the Habs goal too. Exactly. Like I said, Kulak made the first goal happen for the Canadians. He missed a bit of a misplay at the blue line, but got back in time, started the rush, and then Caulfield, Suzuki, back and forth, pitch and catch, then to Josh Anderson, backdoor. To open the scoring, of course. Sarah A, again, another Leaf fan. You must have been so nervous, along with every other Habs fan, during this game, and especially overtime. There will be a game 5. Congrats. And Montreal must be unreal right now. Just like the people outside the Bell Center, the people inside the Bell Center must be unreal. But, and like I said, honestly, though, again, I was nervous to a point, but I wasn't like, this like heart beating out of my chest nervous, to be honest. So just because I'm enjoying the ride, like I said. Randy N was nervous throughout the entire game, and Anderson's 2-goal performance of a deja vu of his performance in game 3, I guess. Game 3 against Vegas. Sorry, I just have to pop the chat a little bit better so I can see. Where am I? Randy. Yeah, exactly. Like, look, Josh Anderson, another multi-goal game. Maybe he's becoming a Yoel Armia, who also played another great game tonight. Maybe he's becoming like a Yoel Armia, where when he scores twice. So we'll accept in game 1 against the Leafs. So yeah, he scored once. Sarah A, side note, us Andersons are pretty great. Honored to have the same last name as him. Yes, Sarah Anderson. Sarah A is Sarah Anderson as well. So maybe, Sarah, for your birthday, I'll get you a Josh Anderson number 17 jersey, and you won't be able to refuse that. And Sarah Anderson's a Leaf fan, by the way. So yeah, but what an overtime goal indeed. What a hustle goal indeed. Yes, Sarah A, that was just a hard fought, just like I said, Josh Anderson take it to the net, getting wiped out of the play, but then beating his man Ruda back to the front of the net. Just awesome play by Josh Anderson. Sheldon Weisberg, no clue about sheltering Romanov and Kulak. The top 4 need some rest, but also there's a reason they were leaned on all playoffs. I mean, here's the thing. Like, honestly, I know there's still another game left, but I'm wondering if you can bring in a guy like Alec Martinez. Maybe like a top 4, like if you can put Sherratt or Edmondson on the third pairing and have them mentor Romanov and bring in like a Martinez or even a right-handed like defenseman that you could rely on for 20 minutes a game to play the third pairing and shelter your left-handed defenseman. That would go a long way for this Canadiens team. You have to be careful with the salary cap, of course. You have to be careful because you have a lot of young players coming in the system on the blue line. But again, not going to talk too much about the offseason right now, other than the fact that if Weber, Sherratt, Petrie, and Edmondson have not been playing 25 minutes a game every single night, and in some cases 27, 28 minutes, could that have made a difference? Maybe. But anyway, where am I? Randy and Anderson, you only have with more than one game winner in OT this playoffs. Yes, indeed. 2 game winners by Josh Anderson. Randy N looks as though Habs will have to win with the same style with Tampa, offense buzzing all over the ozone. I mean, yeah, like, look, in terms of the matchups, it doesn't, maybe I'm not paying as much attention to this as I should, but I don't feel like there's a consistent effort to put Deneau on Braden Point. I find every time Braden Point's out there, I'm seeing the Stahl line. I'm seeing sometimes the Suzuki line. The Evans, Lehkonen, Byron line is, I think, the one that's ideally responsible for the Braden Point line, but I'm not sure. It didn't look like they were on them all the time, so maybe I'll just have to pay more attention to that going forward. But anyway, 27 teams have been down, as Noah Siegel London. 27 teams have been down 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final before the Habs. 20 were swept, 4 lost in 5 games, 1 lost in 6, 1 lost in 7, and only 1 came all the way back to complete the reverse sweep. And yes, those are the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 1942. Could the Habs be the second? Noah Siegel-London believes it. Go Anderson from Sarah Anderson and adding at Randy N. Love back and forth from Randy and Sarah. Randy N, 3 minutes penalty kill in overtime got me nervous. I mean, yeah, just like still, they killed a 4-minute power play, a 4-minute double minor. The Tampa Bay Lightning with a power play over 30%, and they killed off a double minor with the series on the line. Incredible. Where am I? Sheldon Weisberg, your prediction was last night was right. So I guess what was Sheldon's prediction again? Just remind me in the comments there, Sheldon. Randy and Form Ghost had 3 goal posts for Tampa, which would have been goals. Oh well, go Habs, go, no quitting this team. And ironically enough, there were 3 Habs legends in the press box: Patrick Roy, Guy Lafleur, Yvan Cournoyer. So maybe they're the reasons for the 3 posts. The Habs, the living Habs ghosts. I shouldn't call them ghosts because they're alive, and God forbid anything should happen to our lovely Patrick Roy and Guy Lafleur and Yvan Cournoyer. But yeah, maybe that had something to do with it in some bizarre world. But anyway, Sarah A, being Leafs was my Stanley Cup. Ouch, Mike. Ouch. I mean, yeah, like it really was, because now it's like I could just say, like, if any Leaf fan wants to talk crap for the next year, just it was 3-1, and they have nothing else. It was 3-1. So yeah, yeah, just like I said, like, look, the Canadiens, we didn't expect them to go to win, to make it past Game 5 in that first round. And like I said, just part of, as I've said so many times already today in these shows, I'm just enjoying the run. I'm just enjoying the run. That's it. No stress. What's it called? Habs need to play like Game 2 in Tampa and steal one, but they have to score more than 1 goal than they did in Game 2. And they have to not give up a Blake Coleman goal with 0.4 seconds left in the second period. And they have to not have a carfouillage derrière le filet, or just a gaff behind the net where Joel Edmondson tries to reverse it to Jeff Petrie, but ends up going on the stick of Andre Palat. And yeah. And also, now here's some bulletin board material. I'm going to tweet this at Mike Langer, so no one beat me to it. The Tampa Bay, the mayor of Tampa, forget her name. Seems like a decent Floridian chick, but whatever. So she wanted the Lightning to lose this game so that the Lightning would win the Stanley Cup in Tampa. So right now, the mayor of Tampa, and probably a lot of Lightning fans, weirdly, in some way, in some weird part of their body or mind or brain, got their wish by losing tonight. So now they have a chance to win in Tampa. So you know what? If I'm the Montreal Canadiens, I put that on the bulletin board. Tampa wanted to win their Stanley Cup in Tampa. Well, you know what? Don't let them win it on Wednesday night. Make them wait. Make them wait Wednesday night. Make them wait beyond Friday night. And make them wait beyond Sunday. But again, one game at a time, and starting with They want their Stanley Cup in Tampa. Don't let them get it. That's all I have to say in terms of bulletin board material for the Habs going into Game 5. I have to tweet that. What's it called? Where am I? Before where am I? Yeah, before Manov's goal, Weber and Petrie are the only D-men who ever shot to the net on net to have a good bounce or screen. I mean, yeah, Weber just missed the net. It was a great passing play from Gallagher to Toffoli, who was a little bit, who I find was better tonight with Danault and Gallagher. Toffoli was. But Weber just missed the net with a rocket. Vasilevsky would have stopped it because his blocker was covering the low blocker side. But Weber just missed the net, and I feel like if he got it 5-hole, which was where Vasilevsky has been oddly beat more than anywhere else in these playoffs or in the series, so maybe you could have beat him. They tried Evans, Lehkonen, and Byron on Braden Point's line. Tampa will have last change. I mean, yeah, and that's the other thing now. So what's good about this lineup is that now Tampa, even with the last change, it's like they're going to have to put the Braden Point line either on Suzuki, Anderson, and Caulfield, which would be a mismatch for Tampa offensively, or on the Stahl, Perry, Armia line, which would also be a mismatch in favor of Tampa. But over half the time, over 50% of the time, Braden Point will have to face off either against the Evans, Byron, Lehkonen line or against the Gallagher, Danault, Toffoli line. So that's actually the good news about how the Habs built their lineup for Game 4 and how they're likely going to build their lineup for Game 5. Sheldon Weisberg, my prediction was that the Habs will win in Game 4. Yes. So Sheldon is right. And I also had another shout out to another Habs Cowboys fan in my mentions on Twitter. I think it's Quest for six Super Bowls for the Cowboys. He said that look out for the Anderson, Suzuki, and Caulfield line because he likes it. And now we saw a reason why. 3 righties on that line, by the way. Interesting. Matt Cowan making an appearance in the comment section. Langer, all my emotions were felt during that game. Exhausted. 3 miracles away from a cathartic celebration. Go Habs, go. I mean, hey, again, one game at a time. One game at a time. The same way they came back in the Leaf series. Take it one game at a time. Sarah A. Anderson on a Habs jersey. Come on. Yeah. Nope. And Sarah A. Nope. Never, ever going to go to the good side of wearing a Josh Anderson jersey, even though your last name is friggin' Anderson. And there was a Leafs player whose last name was Anderson. Son, why didn't you ever get his jersey, Sarah A? You tell me that in the comment section. Sheldon Weisberg emphasis, one game at a time. Our memories have been short during these playoffs. I mean, exactly. You have to have a short memory. Great, awesome, hard-fought win tonight, but you have to follow that up with another effort in Game 5. And just, again, all you have to focus on now, don't let Tampa have their Stanley Cup in Tampa. That's all. Ducharme's changes were on all the goals. Anderson on the Suzuki line for the exactly. Look, Randy, great comment there. So all of Ducharme's lineup changes made their marks on all the goals. Josh Anderson on the Suzuki line with Kulak also who created that rush. And Romanov inserted for the second goal. Yeah, just look, the lineup changes. Randy, you better if you have Twitter, you better tweet that before I do, because I you know what? I'll mention you on when I tweet that, Randy. And Paolo, I don't think he's in Sweden yet. He'll be in Sweden probably for the 2021-2022 season. And excellent, Sarah. Okay, at least you have that Anderson Leafs jersey, number 10, very old. Wait, was it your great uncle? Like your great uncle? Anyway, yeah, Randy N would like to see Montreal create the momentum first on Wednesday. I mean, yeah, like they honestly get the first goal. The Habs got the first goal tonight, so get the first goal on Wednesday and make and just defend the lead instead of playing and chasing from behind. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to say in terms of this awesome, emotion-filled Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final, where the Habs just again they killed a 4-minute penalty off. Man, they didn't allow the Tampa Bay power play to score for 4 minutes straight with the series on the line to win in overtime. Game 5 with Josh Anderson's second goal of the game. As usual, if you enjoy my commentary, give me a big thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to my channel right here on youtube.com/Langer at the mic. Give me a follow on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike Langer for all three. And as usual, this has been a Montreal Canadiens post-game show here on Langer at the Mic Live. And I look so forward to seeing you again next time after Game 5 on Wednesday night. Go Habs, go, and have an awesome evening.